I'm on vacation.
That's pretty much what I've been doing.
Right.
Watching Netflix. Found
What you
some
been
good
watching?
stuff. I watched the first episode of Black AF.
Do
Is
you
it
like
black?
it?
No.
Yeah,
I
I've
don't
heard
like
so
the guy, the dad.
Kenya?
Kenya. I cannot get past
I could
his
have sworn that was
voice.
a woman.
Well, I mean, I did too. Kenya Barris. Every time I would hear that name, I'm
Yeah.
always thinking female.
Who's the one who did
do it.
blackish,
Yeah.
grownish, colorish?
It's
and
a black guy.
All that.
And the plot. I mean, the everything. The story of it is okay. It's just that I can't get past his voice.
I don't
I
like that the show is
cannot.
called Black as F, and like the main people are super light skinned.
Yeah, they're not.
they're
Rashida
black,
Jones
though.
is
They
mixed.
are black.
Like,
Yeah, and he seems to be mixed. I
Or just
feel like
yellow.
he's mixed, or he yellow.
Right.
and that's like Hollywood's agenda to attack the black man. They're
Go,
like,
we ain't going that far.
we gonna let black people on
You
TV,
reach
but
it.
I
not.
think the black
You are reaching.
AF is the person that the it's not the. It's not supposed to be the skin color. It's like who they are.
Yeah,
They black of
because the
black.
thing is, there are light skinned people who live out here and live regular, everyday lives.
I feel like light skinned people and mixed people are more black than some of us brown people. Because I have a mixed girl, homegirl, and she is so pro black. She more black than me. I'm like, girl, your mama white. How did you get this way? You wasn't even raised by your daddy, so how you get blacker than me?
What?
You was raised in pretty much a white household. 'Cause your
Yeah.
mama-
Oh,
but,
wow.
But she was very pro black. But so I watched Black AF. I watched some old school movie, of course. I watched Players Club. I watched a little bit of
What?
Waco. I watched Ozarks. What else I watched? Extraction.
Oh my goodness!
I was just
I ain't
watching
heard of
stuff.
none of this stuff besides Players
I've
Club.
heard about all those.
You
but
have?
haven't watched any of them.
all of these on
And
Netflix.
Roxanne. Y'all remember y'all don't remember, but
Ain't
I
that
watched.
like
yeah.
about Nas or something like that.
You said what?
I thought that was about like Nas's girlfriend or something.
No, Nas was in the movie, but he was a little boy. It's
Oh,
about
okay.
Roxanne Shante. She was a rapper back in the 80s, and they did like just a little tidbit of how she got started and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so-
but you like that?
I did
Would
because
you-
it brought back memories of,
Yeah.
of being a kid. And
So
stuff
you
like
just can stand the voice of Kenya on
that.
Black AF.
because some of the stuff they were talking about was really like it was good, like some of the
Yeah.
subject, the topics or whatever. But his voice, like,
Just so annoying.
because he sounded like a white guy. But he's talking about black problems, and it was
Yeah.
like, I can't relate.
Right.
Not with that voice.
Well, the way people was describing it online, I just took it as it was another blackish show.
Yeah, that's
It
what I
pretty
think.
much is. It's
Yeah.
blackish on a different level. Like blackish with like money, top tier.
More money?
Yeah.
Must say, because Andre has money on Blackish.
Yeah, but these people on Black AF, they are rich. They probably the top tier.
Oh, okay.
Almost type elite. And they got some good cameos, they got some, they got Snoop. Now, they got people like celebrities that come through the show, but I couldn't watch it too long. I was like, no. Waco was good.
Waco? What was that?
About David Koresh.
Thank you. I was gonna get into that. Like, it was something else I was supposed to say at the beginning of the show. The other day, I had found out another classmate of mine had passed away,
Oh, man.
and then what even made it worse was it was a shooting,
Oh,
and so
man.
they're investigating it. But this is just sad because it seems like every year, like I've seen like 4 or 5 classmates pass away,
Oh, wow.
and I'm just like, ugh.
Oh, yeah. We think my high school has a curse because it seems like every year since we graduated, one of our classmates dies.
What school was that?
Timberview.
Oh, yeah.
Mansfield.
Mansfield ain't so uppity. It's kind of like a little upscale Arlington.
Right.
Yeah, it's not really too bad.
It's Mansfield. It's Arlington with a toll road. That's
Yeah.
all it is. but since you mentioned Waco, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So, one thing I hate is that whenever I leave here, whenever we leave here on Sundays, I'm always seeing something that had happened. I'm like, I wish I saw this earlier so I could talk about it when it was relevant.
Yeah.
But last week when I left, I had saw something. It was like today was April the 20th.
19th.
Yeah, the 19th was the anniversary of what happened in Waco.
Yeah.
And so today I was watching like a whole documentary.
Yeah.
and it was about this guy named David, which I forgot his original name because he ended up changing it. But
Right.
David had his own compound in this small city outside of Waco, and they were Christians, which is which is why
7-day
event. Yeah.
So it was about a cult.
No.
Yeah.
No. Well, no.
What you mean? No?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much the whole premise of
I believe, because I have that weird belief or opinion that Christianity is a cult.
religion is a cult. I mean,
Yeah,
that's just,
basically. Yeah. And so, but what he was, it wasn't like no Helter Skelter, Charles Manson kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
They all studied the Bible and had Bible study like 3 times a day.
Right.
And it was just them living in a church in their own, what they called it a church, but it was in their own community.
compound.
And that was it, yeah.
Yeah.
And they talked about that, like their biggest belief was the fall of Babylon and we're going to be attacked by the government and all this other stuff. And that was like his main teachings.
Mm-hmm.
And come to find out, the stuff actually did happen.
I mean, he kind of, it was going to happen.
Yeah.
He kept prophesying that. 'Cause,
Yeah.
so.
Which is, keep putting it out in the energy.
It's gonna-
Eventually,
yeah, it's gonna
it'll
come
come to pass.
Right.
And so what had happened was they acquired all these weapons illegally, according to the ATF.
Which is a lie, but.
Yeah. And so, that's said allegedly.
Yeah.
And so, February the 28th, the ATF went in and started shooting at the compound.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the Davidians, which is what they were called,
Yeah.
shot back and killed 4 ATF agents.
Yes.
And so, they end up blocking off the compound and 50, I think they said like 59 days or 60
like
days,
50-some days.
the government was watching them and trying to get them to come out. And the beginning, they ended up releasing some kids, and some kids went to foster care and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And then eventually, April the 19th, that's when they took tanks and drove through the house
Yeah.
and was shooting people in the house and set it on fire.
Yeah, they threw gas inside
Yeah.
of the compound, which kind of drew some of the people out. Not everybody got out, but David Koresh ended up, killing. Well, they don't really know how it happened, but when they found him, he had a bullet in him.
Yeah.
And the fire was set. They said they don't know if he set the fire or another.
They
one
know
of the
who said
Indians
it.
Set the fire.
They know who
but
said
the ATF is saying, the FBI is saying that they didn't set a fire. They just threw gas in there.
Yeah.
But the one thing that they did know, and this was one of their scare tactics, they knew that the kids wasn't gonna have a gas mask, and there was like plenty of kids in there. So they was thinking like, okay, let's hurt this is what I got from. Let's hurt these kids. So in return, we're going to get David out. Because
Yeah.
it was some of his kids that were in there.
But that made no sense because you're driving a tank where there are people. And there was this one guy where they did the autopsy of his body. They were like, yeah, half of his body is gone.
It was ran over.
And it was because he got ran over by a tank.
But like, what I don't get is like, what was going on at the compound that like the ATF and
Nothing.
FBI wanted
Just
to
the
like
fact
mess
that
with
they
him?
got word that they had guns.
So they got a package from UPS, and the package, when it broke open, it had grenades in there. So that's what caught the attention of the law enforcement, because the UPS worker called and was like, "Hey, I'm about to deliver some grenades. Do y'all want to intervene?" So they was like, "Really?" And so when they asked him where they was delivering the package to, they was like, "I'm going to the Mount Carmel."
That was
yeah.
a weird name. I was
Mount
like, why
Carmel.
Carmel?
I don't know.
never knew that, but moving
Yeah,
on.
he said this is where we're going. So the police was like, well, for the last few years we've been getting reports that people been shooting out there. So why they need grenades? They already got all these guns.
Oh man.
So that's why the ATF got involved and was like, hey,
Yeah,
what
and-
y'all need all this for?
And then when the ATF got there, according to David and to some footage that was lost, and some of the reporters had reported that ATF were approaching the house. David opened the door and they started shooting.
And that's what because they were saying.
Well, the ATF started shooting. Let me say that.
The ATF is saying they didn't shoot first. But
Yeah.
the people from the compound were saying that they were saying David shot first, but the people in the compound that survived said that the ATF shot first. In my opinion, if y'all coming over there and y'all scared and y'all thinking people got guns, I'm pretty sure y'all probably start shooting first.
Yeah.
Because if he opened the door, that means that he was willing to be like, hey, what's up? Why
Yeah.
y'all here? The reason why I feel like the compound should have, should have been left alone is because they were minding their own business.
Yeah.
They were under the guidelines. I mean, Texas got open carry, or Texas got I think back then it was concealed. But anyway, they were honest. They were on their acres. They were minding their own business. They were taking care of their people and their families and stuff like that. So why are y'all bothering these people? Like, why are y'all coming in? I mean, the whole grenade thing, they wasn't doing that to go run out and mess up the town or nothing. They was like,
there was
prepared.
nothing, no evidence and they were calling like a terroristic group, and it's like, how?
Right.
They ain't done nothing.
They
done it yet.
Yeah, they haven't done anything. So why are you forcing somebody's hand to make this problem a problem?
Yeah.
The only thing that I really had an issue with is him marrying them little girls. Now you going too far.
How young were they?
11. The youngest one he married or had a baby with, she was 11 when they first started. Her mom is the one that delivered her to him and was like,
well, then it ain't none of our business then.
I just don't like the idea of that. And another thing I ain't like, some of his beliefs were like, okay, he said that he was the Messiah, the sinning Messiah. So he was sent here from God to be just like a human man. I'm a sin, I'm gonna do all this, and but so I can understand why y'all do what y'all do. And then what else did he say?
But there's nothing different from, well, in my opinion, there's no different from what he's saying about himself to what priests and preachers have been saying about themselves for years. That they are chosen, and the only way that you can receive salvation is if I preach this to you and you talk. Yeah, like Catholics been doing, like, it was because at first priests were the only ones who can interpret the Bible, and it was like, if you want forgiveness, you got to confess to me what you did, and now I talk to God on your behalf
and see what he say.
Yeah, it's like, who gave you this power?
Right, exactly.
No, that ain't how it works. So he ain't no different from people been doing for years. But it was just weird to me because it was like, they were Christians. Yeah, like under that Christianity, under that umbrella, they studied the Bible and they believed in Jesus and believed in God,
and they was willing to die for what they believed in.
Right, which more power to you.
Right, because I don't.
Some of these Christians now, especially the Black Baptist ones.
Listen, I don't even want to get into. I don't even want to get into the Black Baptist Christians, because some of them are a fool. Not all of them. I ain't gonna call out the whole group.
I will, but I do it for you.
Some of them, you just be like, "Is this really how it's supposed to be?" Judgmental,
right?
Just everything.
You're not even willing to be like, because I remember somebody was like, a comedian that said this. They said, like Muslims will sacrifice themselves for God. Yeah. Try to tell a Christian now, God just got me a house. I don't think he want me to do that.
Let me pray on it.
Right.
Let me see what he say.
They don't sound like some guy would say, what? How you know?
Let me fast and see what happens. I'm going to fast for an hour. I'm just going to fast from Facebook. But that fasting be crazy. Like, they'll be like, oh, I'm just not gonna be on Facebook for 2 hours. That's my fasting.
Right. That ain't no fast.
That ain't not a fast.
That's you going to work. But the thing that was troubling was, how is it that how does this make sense? You're going to torture the children in order to get the grown-ups to surrender. That makes no sense. Because before they attacked, they had cut out the electricity, cut out the water, and this one guy who ended up surviving and getting out, he was saying that they had to collect rainwater. And the water was rationed to where everyone was getting like 8 ounces of water a day. And it's like, your means is not justifying the overall cause, if I'm saying it right. And then you drive through the building with all this gas, and some people were saying that the gas was making the kids throw up, and
because they didn't have a mask,
and then it ends up being set on fire because of the stuff you're doing. None of it is making any sense, right. And then stuff is being lost in investigations. The whole crime scene was bleached and cut off. Like,
and we'll never really know what happened there. No. I mean, I feel like that's just the government wanting to be in control of everything and everybody. And so what stemmed from the Waco was the Oklahoma City bombing. 2 years later, then Timothy McVeigh, because he was actually there. I did a little research. He was actually there.
I said, let me know, because I ain't know nothing about Oklahoma.
Really? He was actually there at the Waco when Waco was going through all that stuff he was going through.
Yeah.
He was there and watching, and he was a military vet, and I guess he was like, this government is not right. They shouldn't be messing with this man. So what he did 2 years later was put a bomb in a rider truck. What is it, rider or what U-Haul truck on the side of a federal building that had the ATF offices in there. And that's the only reason he chose that office. But it also had daycares. It also had other stuff going on in that building. And when that bomb blew up, it killed 168 people.
Wow.
A number of more kids and pregnant people. So it seemed like that situation made one of the biggest terrorist how you say it, like a terrorist...
A terrorist group?
Attack.
A terrorist attack, yeah.
So that Waco stuff, so like the government pretty much, caused all that just by not minding their business.
Right. And just leaving people alone. And then using military forces on your own citizens.
Right.
That's not how this goes. It's not what this is supposed to be.
Right.
And
why make laws and then you get mad when somebody...
And then want to overturn it.
Right.
And so that's why I try to tell people, well, this is why I have so many conspiracy theories when it comes to the government and when it comes to our so-called rights, which I call them privileges now.
Right.
Because it's not a right if you can take that away
whenever you
you feel like it.
Right.
Because the ATF really didn't have any business there. Well, they kind of had a little business there, but they didn't have they didn't have any business using that kind of force.
Yeah. They could have been like, hey, you got too many guns. Let us get these guns from you, confiscate the guns, and then go on about your business. Why you breaking down? This is pretty much someone's family. These people are a family. You know what I mean?
Over 80 people had died, and there was several families in there.
Just senseless. I feel like it was just, and the way the media portrayed it, like, oh, he doing this, he doing that. But when you really dive in and dig into it, the only thing the man was doing was sleeping with little girls. That's the only really crime that he was really committing. You know what I mean? So. And they was willingly doing it, so it would have been like a statutory thing.
Yeah,
been like
it wasn't like he was going around kidnapping people.
Yeah, I mean, they was like, what's up, Dave? My mama was like, I should come over here, so what's up? Not just playing. But, I mean, they wanted to be the chosen one, because they felt like if I sleep with this man, then my baby or whatever going to be the chosen baby.
And then what solidified him was everything he preached about it ended up coming to pass. Yeah. So now people are like, maybe he was right.
Yeah,
maybe this
he
was
knew something. Yep.
Right.
I remember being a little girl hearing about this story, and I was like, back then I just thought the man was crazy. He was radical. That he was I didn't even know that he was a Christian man. I thought he was just like some crazy man in the desert shooting people. You know what I mean? And just doing.
He wasn't no Bin
stuff.
Laden.
Right, and that's what they made. They portrayed him to be that, and me being 10, 11 years old. Yeah, somewhere up in there. Maybe 12. But me being young and not really understanding what was going on, I was like, oh my God.
Right.
White folks crazy.
And that was the media's fault too.
Yeah.
Which is controlled by the government, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time.
Oh, yeah. Because we ain't going that far today.
Right, because we tried to do that earlier.
Right. We ain't going there today.